guys, and welcome back to my channel. Wow, it has been a long time since I posted a video, and rightly so. I've had a lot going on, and I'm so excited to tell you about all the different things that have occurred since I think December when I did my last video. So stay tuned and let's get going. So in my last video, I think it was Christmas, and I was doing Vlogmas and things like that. And so last Christmas we had two amazing foster kids that were with us for respite for about a week or so. And I think ever since that point, our lives just took off. So the kids went home like Christmas Eve or so, and we kind of spent Christmas, you know, just regrouping, because as you remember, it was like we had just started our foster care lifestyle, our foster care journey back in November. And so we were just trying to figure out, okay, what did we do wrong? What did we do right? How can we make this easier when the next kids come to our home? So we decided to kind of get through Christmas, get through the new year, and then, you know, start vlogging again at the beginning of the year. Well, what happened was, on January 22nd, we got a phone call for 3 foster children who were siblings, and it was a set of twin boys who were 3 months old, like a day shy of 4 months. But they were 3 months old, little tiny, I think they were 7 or 8 pounds, premature babies, and their 2.5-year-old sister. So on January 22nd, again, we hit the ground running, and here it is, the 12th of July, and I'm just now sitting down to tell you about what's been going on and kind of catch you up to speed. And I know many of you have been sending messages and DMs, and those in our Facebook group have been asking, you know, what's going on. And I honestly, with twin babies, I've just not had the time to sit down and do anything. So we'll talk about that in a minute. All right, so again, January 22nd, our 3 kids came. We were technically only approved for 2 children, but because these were twins and because they were siblings, they were trying to keep them together. They couldn't find anywhere else for these 3 kids to go, so we agreed to take them. DCS was so helpful in bringing us a second crib, because we had a crib and a bunk bed. They bought us a second crib. They bought pack and plays and all these different things for us to help us set up another space, another crib in the room. And so we just hit the ground running in January. And the reason why things got hectic is because when the kids came, they had what's going around in our state anyway, RSV, right? I'd never heard of it. I don't know if I just knew it by another name, but I never heard of it. And they came with it. So within the first week of them being here, they were at the doctor, they were on medication, breathing treatments and all of that to help them breathe. The little one, actually the one that was the bigger one, was having some breathing issues, and so he was doing breathing treatments. And now in July, the one that was the bigger one is now the little one. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. But so February, it was RSV, we're having breathing treatments. March, we were just trying to just get it going, you know, get them moving, get them eating right. They were vomiting a lot. And I think February and March to us was just a complete blur. The 1st of April on Easter weekend, actually Easter during dinner, the smaller one started having some breathing problems again, and so we rushed them to the emergency room. Found out there was RSV again, which they said is really interesting that they would get it twice. So they were getting it from their daycare. So April, we were dealing with breathing treatments again. About a week later, I ended up with some respiratory issues, RSV. So I was sick like a week and a half, and we were trying to juggle that. We got him back healthy again. Well, I was going to say, at the end of January, beginning of February, there was stomach virus going around in the daycare. So I ended up with a stomach virus for like a week in February. So then March, and then April, RSV, hospital. Then I got sick again in April. May, I think things kind of died down a little bit, but that was like my anniversary weekend. That was like my birthday. The 2.5-year-old turned 3 in May, and the day of her birthday party, that little one again had some breathing issues and things. So we missed her birthday party. They carried on. We had some people carry on with their birthday party. We were at the emergency room again with the little one, getting breathing treatments and x-rays and things like that. And I think by the time we got to her, it was 5:30, 6 o'clock in that evening. So that was May. And then June, what happened in June? Oh, in June, they started teething because they were so little, their teeth hadn't come in. So they started teething in June. It was fevers back to back, and with twins, fever is like double the screaming, double the crying, double the drooling, double the Orajel, double the all the stuff. And so we went through that in June. And then hand, foot, and mouth disease is where we are now. It broke out into the school, and they started dealing with that. And then the 2.5-year-old ended up with hand, foot, and mouth disease. And now in July, the first week of July, the 2.5-year-old had strep right after she finished hand, foot, and mouth. Then I caught hand, foot, and mouth, and that's been like the last 2 weeks. And then here we are today. So for 6 months, we've been battling viruses and babies breathing. And this is my reason, my very good excuse for not putting out any more content, any more videos. We just needed to shut everything down and just deal. Okay, so that brought us up to today, right? Okay, I'm breathing today. I'm still on a little bit of meds, but I'm okay. If you hear about anybody with hand, foot, and mouth disease, please run away, especially for adults. It's like the flu times 3. All of my face swole, gums and mouth were swollen, blisters, sore throat, like all the way down my throat, just blisters. Run. Do not catch this virus. So yeah, that brings us up to speed today. So let's see where we are now. Okay, so that was a lot. I understand. I needed to get all of that out just to bring you up to speed to where we are. It's July 12th, and the 3 kids are currently still with us. It's been an interesting journey, and this is our first placement that we've had. So we've had them for almost 6 months. It'll be 6 months next week. And it's not been as hard as I thought it would be, but at the same time, it was as hard as I thought it would be. And what do I mean by that? Well, I've dealt with babies before, because I think I told you in some of my other videos, I do have a almost 23-year-old. So I've dealt with babies before. But having multiples, like twins, something I actually always wanted, but it is a lot of work, because when you get one child to calm down, typically you can go about your life, go to bed, whatever. But what we dealt with for the last 6 months is all of the children were on the same schedule, like go to bed at the same time, eat at the same time, that kind of thing. They would wake up at different times in the night. And when they wake up and cry, it would wake up the other one. So we would have to rush in the room, grab one, bring them out of the room into the living room, try to feed them and change them and calm them down before we took them back in the room. And so it took us a couple of weeks to figure out how to do that. And then each of the babies, of course, because they are individuals, you know, they have different personalities. So one of them likes to be cuddled and hugged and kissed and squeezed. And the other one's a little more independent. He wants you to put him down. He wants to just play on his own. He's a little sneaky and, you know, he's just all over the place. And so we had to figure out their temperaments and their personalities and things like that. So that's what I mean by it's harder than I thought, because I'd never dealt with twins before. And it's taking us about this long to get a routine. And I think I'm going to do a video on routines with twins. It's not so much, you know, when you think about singletons or single babies, you think, yeah, so you just feed them twice, blah, blah, blah. But no, it's a whole different thing that I never thought about dealing with twins, in the feeding schedules and diapers and, you know, feeding them at the same time. And what do you do when they both scream at the same time, or they both poop at the same time, and they both vomit at the same time? And, you know, my husband was here and sometimes he was at work or whatever, but even with the two of us, we were still running around trying to keep up. And don't forget, we still have a 2.5-year-old that has to eat. Our 2.5-year-old was not potty trained when she came, so she was almost 3. She was nowhere near potty trained, so we still had to deal with pull-ups and literally laying her on the changing table and changing her behind when she pooped as well, because like I said, she might as well have just been in diapers. She was nowhere near potty training. We do have her potty trained now. She was potty trained probably, I think, about early June, I think, is when the light bulb finally just came on and she figured out, oh, potty. Pee-pee in the potty. So yeah, dealing with twins, and then also having a 2-year-old or 3-year-old that you have to remember she still exists. And I think I might do a video on that too. It's been work. In the beginning, because they were little, they were waking up like every 2 hours. And like I said, sometimes they weren't waking up at the same time. So there were days where I was awake all night and I got up about 6:30, 7 o'clock, took them to daycare, slept all day till about 11 or 12. And then I did my actual job, because I do have an actual job. I did some work. And then I'm going to go back and pick them up from the daycare at 5:30, 6 o'clock and start all over again with the feeding and the running around the room. Then, of course, with foster care, there's also doctor's appointments and dentist appointments and visitation and the DCS coming by and then our private agency coming by. And it's just like a constant movement of things. So, yes, it's not as bad as I thought it would be, but it is, in some areas, it is bad. We've taken it all in stride, and we actually have enjoyed the journey. I'm glad that we got little kids. It seems like I enjoy this more than I would have if they were 7 or 8, because we're not approved, but we said we would take children up until age 8. I'm kind of happy that I have little ones. So we have a nice setup in our living room, and we have toys and toy boxes and things like that to kind of keep them occupied. But yeah, so I know that this video was all over the place, but I just wanted to get something out there and just kind of give you an idea of where we are. And I know this isn't like the most beautiful of videos, and you know, it's kind of dark because it just started pouring down raining. So I know the lighting may be off, but I did want to put something out to you guys and just let you know where I have been for the past 6 months. I look back on it now and think that 6 months went by fast. In the beginning, it seemed to move really slow, but now I look back and think, wow, it's been 6 months. These kids are very much established in our house. My family loves them. My daughter adores them, and the big girl just loves her. That's her best friend. The boys are just amazing little kids, and I wish I could show you those sweet little faces. They are the cutest little boys on this side of heaven, and we're loving it. Oh yeah, visitation. So visitation is weekly. Sometimes it's in person, sometimes it's virtual, just all depends. A lot of different factors. So I just kind of set my camera up like I have it just right here, and they look, or I have my iPad right here, and or I have my Mac or my MacBook or whatever, and we just make it happen. So visitation is every week for about 2 hours or so, sometimes an hour and a half, which isn't too bad. But yeah, they are still very much here, and they'll probably be here for a minute, and we're cool with that. Yeah, so I don't want to just keep rambling or anything or prolonging and make this video longer than it needs to be, but I just wanted to just bring you up to speed with where we are with this. I'm getting ready to go get some laundry done. When I tell you I do laundry every day, for whatever reason, there's towels and shirts and diaper cloth things that have to be washed, and sheets, and every day I think I do a load of laundry. So I'm gonna get started on that. All right, but yeah, stay tuned for the next video. Hopefully it will not be 6 months from now. All right, thank you guys, and thank you for checking in with me and keeping up with me and reminding me that I do actually have a YouTube channel that I need to make content for. All right, see you guys.